I have.
So no copyright sounds.
And link will be in the description.
Yep. It's gotta have tunes.
Yeah. And of course, you know, I may not be talking a lot either, so.
Okay, you don't have it too loud.
Yeah, this is definitely copyright free. Yeah, this is listed. I think I heard this one before too.
Yeah, you bookmarked it.
Yeah.
People will be passing me because I am doing less than 5 miles over the speed limit. Mommy drives like an old lady. There's a reason for that. Mommy is an old lady.
And the good news is I finally get a new video because I haven't been active, I don't think, in a while. I think it's probably been like a month since I've done some of these videos.
It's been a while.
And I know I haven't done one of these videos in a while either, because I think the last time we did this was on 5/24, I think it was, or...
Might have been.
I just don't remember, because I haven't done a video, I just haven't done any video in a while.
Well, we've been kind of busy at home.
And hopefully by the end of the year, the virus will go away.
Well, diseases don't exactly go away.
You know, hopefully I won't have to wear my mask.
They don't. Diseases don't exactly go away. What they do is they become less lethal as the population builds up immunities and partial immunities and herd immunities, and they figure out vaccines.
At some point we should see something that looks like snow.
I believe there's some of it over here. That's just sand, though.
Yeah. I'm not sure if the camera's seeing it, but some of that actually looks like snow.
Yeah, it looks like a thin dusting of snow. It's just sand. This is Florida. Most of Florida is a sandbar.
It actually does look like snow from here.
Yeah, it looks like kind of dirty snow. But...
And it would be nice if it actually snowed here.
I don't know if the camera's getting that, but on our left is actually a solar farm. I don't know if that's a private or if that's one of the utility companies. It's probably one of the utility companies.
Yeah, it probably is. And there's something that, again, looks like snow. Which is actually sand or something.
Yeah, it's just sand. It's bare patches. I'm not sure why there's bare patches. Of course, there's cows to the right.
Yeah.
access one in Cocoa, all the way to the airport, and to one of the Disney facilities.
That's right, airport.
Yeah, we're not going to the airport.
Oh, it just tells you that.
Yes, it does. It's going to shadow 528, and it's going to go to the airport, and I think one of the Disney hotel complexes for Disney World.
And it looks that we have plenty of time. Because I looked under there, you know, and we definitely have enough time to get this whole thing.
We're going to go all the way to the end to it ends at the beach.
Yeah, it ends at the beach.
Is that park on the beach?
Which on the beach is where we went to Rod John's and filmed that elevator.
That guy I think needs a heavier shirt.
Yeah, you can see his back. You can see his back.
Depending on how far he's going, he could have sunburn and windburn. That'll hurt.
Some people get on a bike without a shirt on.
Now that hurts when you get bugs.
I wonder if he's going to pop a wheelie or no, he's not.
No, he's not going to pop a wheelie. Although, frankly, I think he went in front of that white vehicle a little too soon.
going to be doing a highlight video where I'm going to get the camcorder out and be filming that. And that's going to be very exciting when I get that
We
video.
would have already done that if it hadn't been for stupid COVID.
And you know what?
There's the roadside stand. They're closing it up.
Wow.
We sell gator jerky there. Never had gator jerky.
Now you know what I would have actually filmed a video.
Yeah. You get to it.
Cause if we go into Roanoke by now, I bet you now you could probably see the video on my channel.
Oh, you'd already have it up by now.
You know, because by now I probably would have had the little road trip video and some elevator videos up.
We were going to go last fall, but last spring, that nasty COVID-19 hit. And it kind of messed with everybody's plans for everything. Afraid of getting sick. A lot of people have gotten sick. A lot of old people especially have died. And different states have gone into different amounts of lockdown for different times. Even though Florida hasn't been that locked down.
Oh, this is a good one. There we go. That's a good one right there. But yeah, I mean, you know, one of these days we're actually, you know, I mean, by now, I mean, I bet by now I would have had the road trip video, because that probably would have gone up soon, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure I would have gotten that done soon. Like as soon as I shot the road trip video, I
probably would have gotten it up within a couple of weeks of us coming home.
You know, and one of the first things I probably would have dove into with editing would be the road trip video. Because I probably would get some elevator videos first, but at the same time I probably would
That's because they're easier.
But I probably would grab, probably like after a couple elevator videos, I probably would get a road trip video up during that timeline.
Yeah.
And it would be much quicker than Jason and Beast and Lucy with their road trips. It would go up much quicker than that.
Well, see, Mr. Andrew has a job, and that kind of cuts into his time. And Jason has school, and his school takes a lot of time too.
I know I did the road trip going back from Gainesville, which, I mean, the reason why that road trip video may have taken a while is because I forgot that I shot it, I think I forgot that
I think you did.
Because remember we did the road trip video on the way back from Gainesville with my cousin, and, it did take a while before I got that up, and the reason why is because I forgot about that video.
You forgot about the video, and you only remembered when I wanted you to check to make sure all of your SD cards were empty.
And at one point I found the unedited video and forgot that I edited it. You know, because at one point I was looking through my videos and I saw the unedited version. I was like, oh, I gotta edit this. And that's when, and that actually wasn't so hard to edit. It was kind of simple, but it was hard because I did have to, cut things out to make it down into a 20-minute video, and it was entertaining. And then I did the road trip up there too. I uploaded that too, which, I think I forgot about that video as well. So, yeah. If I'd known about the video, I probably would have got it up sooner. But I forgot that I filmed that.
Yeah, you got quite a few videos that you've forgotten that you filmed. And some of them that you filmed that aren't really worth editing and putting up, you haven't gotten around to looking at and deleting.
Yeah, because there are some videos where I've gotten it where the video is trash, so I just delete it.
No, not everything you film is good.
Because there's a few moments where, I mean, I'm going to say, I mean, there's times where I've gotten a few takes of things, you know, to where it's pixelated or I filmed the floor too much, and it's like, you know, that video's trash.
Well, you're still learning.
No, even though in some cases it's great to film the
524
floor.
next left.
No, in some
Way to Walmart.
Yeah. In some cases it's great to film the floor.
Well, most of the time when you're filming the floor, it's either part of a cab view, or there's something interesting on the floor, or you're being polite to people. Now, it is legal to film in most public spaces, but it is rude to film people who don't want to be filmed. In some places, it's actually illegal to film people who've made it clear they don't want to be filmed. But photography is not necessarily a crime, but there are places where photography is a crime. In Brevard County, we're very much aware of that. It's not just courthouses and hospitals and doctors' offices where people have a legal expectation of privacy. There's also jails and prisons. There's a military base. There's a lot of areas you can't film on that. And there's the Space Center, where not only areas where the government says you can't film, but there's areas where the businesses say you can't film.
And of course the AC is broken, so I gotta put it up, I think.
We can turn it off. If it's too cold, just turn it off. Public property has more automatic permissions for filming, but anywhere you're on private property, even if it's public access, that doesn't mean you have permission to film. Like Walmart is private property, even though it's limited public access. You can come in there to shop, but you know, you can't like live at Walmart. It's the owners and renters of store properties are allowing you conditional access and use to parts of the property. And one of the conditions often is no photography. And it's the owner of a business's right to say no photography, just as it's my right as, you know, to say you can't film in my house.
And there's McDonald's.
And there's one of the many McDonald's.
And there's a hotel, which we always see all the time.
You may not seem like, you know, why is there a hotel there? Well, it's just off 520, which, and not far from 528, which takes you to Orlando in one direction, or it takes you to
And there's another
beaches.
hotel.
That's not a great hotel.
Yeah, that's probably a bad one, though.
That's a bad one. There's another fireworks store. We just passed one a little bit ago.
Wasn't that the hotel that we stayed at during a hurricane?
That was a hotel that we did manage to find a room to stay in at a hurricane where, like, there was no power.
Yeah, and there probably was drugs under the bed or something.
Well, it certainly wasn't clean under the bed.
Yeah, and who knows what people hide down there, though. There could be bad stuff hidden down there.
If I'm not mistaken, there may have been a used hypodermic underneath the
Yeah.
bed.
And
It's like, don't touch it, don't go near it, don't put your hands under the bed.
yeah, because didn't you say that my brother found something
He
under
said,
there?
yeah, your brother said you saw a hypodermic under there, and I said, get out, don't even look under there. There's another fireworks. That makes 3.
And that just shows how bad hotels are.
Well, some of them are.
Well, I mean, that shows how bad these, you know, 0-star or 1-star or whatever.
Well, see, that's why hotels that have, although a lot of people don't like hotel security, because hotel security doesn't like non-guests wandering around the hotel filming. Having hotel security tends to make it a safer place for the guests. And when I'm paying to stay at a hotel, I want a place that's clean and safe. Now, that wasn't the cleanest hotel, and we kept the doors locked and didn't mess with anything under the bed. But it had air conditioning.
And some of these elevator filmers are wrong because they don't understand. You know, at the same time, there's some elevator filmers I've seen go on videos and they'll attack people. You know, and that's, you
Well,
know.
some of them are upset with security for not letting them film. And they like, oh, well, I have First Amendment rights. I'm not sure if they're talking free speech or freedom of the press, but your rights don't override my rights. There's a phrase, the right for you to swing your arms or swing your fist stops at my nose. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but the thing that's worse is how people are attacking other elevator filmers, you know, when they trespass. And the same elevator filmer that was attacked. There's actually one elevator filmer, I think, who got arrested, if I'm not mistaken.
Being arrested is usually rare.
Yeah, but I think there's
but
one.
that would require repeated trespass with warnings.
Because I know Floridian Elevators did a video.
Or depending on where you go.
Because I know on Floridian Elevators video, he did a video, you know, about.
If you snuck into, say, the Air Force Base and were filming in an area that you weren't allowed to be in and you weren't allowed to film in, you would be arrested probably the first time. If you were filming an elevator at a store that had a no filming policy, they would probably have you escorted off the property the first time, maybe given a formal notice of no trespass. That would probably be for the second time, and then the third time you could be arrested for violating the no trespass order. But if you got caught filming in a jail or a prison or a courthouse or a hospital, you could get in a lot of trouble. Real fast.
Yeah, but honestly, the thing that people need to understand is if they don't like something, not to watch it. Because honestly, if they don't like it...
Well, it's not just don't like it, don't watch it. Some things are, okay, I don't like it, no, I'm not going to watch it, but it's bad enough I'm going to complain about it.
You know, I mean, that's all right. And honestly, at the same time, and I know some of these filmers have cleaned up their act. Like, they know...
People mature. You're more mature than you were 5 years ago, and I kind of expect that of just about everybody to be more mature than they were 5 years ago.
You know, and there's obviously...
So, a lot of your young filmers who don't understand, learn. Now, Mommy did the flow chart for you with the lines of yes and no questions about whether or not you're allowed to film to help you understand when you were much younger.
You know, and Floridian Elevators definitely was right.
We're not supposed to be mentioning names and talking about...
Oh, well, I'm not mentioning names of... I'm saying he made a video about...
He made a video talking about...
how people are... I'm not saying bad things.
About how some people are reacting inappropriately?
Yeah. He just made a video. I'm not mentioning names of bad people. I'm just mentioning a name of a person who made a video talking about how inappropriate. Obviously...
That happens.
You know, I'm just mentioning a video.
A lot of people who behave inappropriately is because they don't understand the rules or why the rules
You know, and there's also people that we don't name too.
Yeah, no, we're not going to name any names about who's acted inappropriately, because everybody has acted inappropriately at one time or another, at least one time.
And Diesel Ducey made a video about, you know, about the same thing, about how people were wrong.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you have to practice elevator courtesy, and you have to practice just plain people courtesy.
And you know what? I'm just thankful that Diesel Ducey and Floridian Elevators made a video about this. Like, you know, he made a video about, you know, about his opinion on why he hates Kona, and he also made a video, a recent video too. And, you know, and it's great to know that, you know, that we have our own opinions and everything. You know, it's like he made a video explaining that we have our own opinions. That's all I'm gonna say there.
Okay.
And that's great to
I
know.
wonder if the camera's picking up any of the boats between the sides of the railing here. You know, it's very cold up north still, even though we were over 80 degrees today. That's why Mommy knows that wasn't snow. You don't get snow at 80. Okay, now we are on Merritt Island.
And here we are, back in we're on Merritt Island now.
Yep. There's Tropical Trail, which goes to Rotary Park on one side, and up here is Courtney, County Road 3, which goes to the other side. And you put up a video about the nature walk, right?
Yeah,
Boardwalk? Pretty sure you did.
and there's the mall that,
No, that's not wrong.
or, well,
That's the public shopping center.
oh yeah, well there's a mall up here.
Yeah, it's about a couple more lights.
And this is also the same spot where I did the making of the outro. Can't forget about that video.
Yep, because you went this way.
I think we're already past where the car wash video was shot.
Yes, that was,
Which I did show going by there on the making of the outro video. Which I also cut some of the video too, because I believe somewhere down here I also cut the film.
yeah, because it was just a car ride. You stopped at a convenience store up here though and got a drink
Yeah.
with your sister.
And I also remember, you know, I also did a video in that, another car I did a video in. You know, when it had the new engine, I did a video on that.
Up this way?
Or I think I did a video coming down here.
You may have, Christopher.
Yeah. I did do a...
There's the mall.
Actually, yeah, I remember. I did do a video passing this. And look, they're closed. They got it boarded up or something.
No, it's closed. It's after 6 o'clock on a Sunday, so they're closed.
And I heard that Sears is closed.
Sears, I think, might be closed by now.
Yeah. And they're not going to have Sears anymore, which
Oh,
obviously...
they're not going to have it there.
And obviously, if they close down Macy's, I do want to get a video of that.
Yeah, because Macy's has an elevator there.
And I know Clarkville's Elevators filmed the Macy's elevator, you know, by surprise. I found that video on YouTube. But I really want to...
There's Kiwanis Island Park on the left.
And you know what surprised me? That someone actually filmed... There's actually a couple filmers who have filmed that elevator.
Well, Brevard County does not have a lot of public access elevators, and the one in the store in the mall is one of the few.
But I haven't seen, you know, Cape Canaveral Hospital parking garage or Exploration Tower. And I wish we knew about Exploration Tower, you know, years ago. Because I remember when because Exploration Tower was there for a while.
Yeah, it was open for a few years ago, a few years before I knew it was there.
And I really wish we knew of it back then, because we would have gone there and I would have ridden the elevator
yeah.
or something. I probably would have.
I'd had a membership long before that.
I really hope I can go there.
Well, right now they're only open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 to 5, and only the observation deck and the gift shop are open. So you can't go, and they're limiting how many people can be there, and you have to have masks. I expect they will open up more this fall because the cruises may start again. Governor DeSantis says he wants the cruises to be open definitely restarted by the end of this summer. And a lot of the business at Exploration Tower is tourists. We're one of the few locals that go there, except for the people that go there to watch the cruise ships go in and out. But they're closed for all the different floors in the museum part. And they're closed for events, private events, and for launches. It has got to be a cool place to watch a launch from them, because it's so close and you're so high up.
And there's where I did the.
That's where you got the soda from.
Yeah, there's where I did part of the video, and then I cut the video, and then I stopped the film and started up again when we were going up that
bridge there?
Yeah, I started the film when we were going up that, and then I think I cut again and showed going into the garage all the way up, and I believe I showed the entire way up, and then I cut the film again.
Yeah, because you had to wait for the rest of us to show up.
And of course, originally I was planning to get a film of the car coming in, but I ended up not getting that.
Well, we didn't know which floor Sandy had parked on.
And I was also disappointed because I was trying to get that on film.
Well, we didn't coordinate that ahead of time.
And that would have been kind of great to have that on the film and just get a take where that would happen. And just get a nice shot. And I would have cut to that, and I would have shown that, and then I actually would have shown everything else that was done.
There's the hospital and the parking garage.
And it only took two or three takes. I think it took 2 takes to get the actual outro.
Yep. Well,
because we did it on 2 takes, actually.
When Diana comes down to visit again,
we're going to do another making of the outro.
Yeah, we'll do another outro where you can have both your sisters and your brother. And probably Riley, too.
And that'll be exciting because I am going to just shoot a video. I'll get a...
Mommy will shoot the outro. You'll shoot the making of, and I will shoot the outro with 4 of my kids and my husband in it. And I wonder if Carl will bring his kids along. We could have 3 of the grandkids in it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be good.
To have that at the ending of our video, and they'll also appear in the making of the outro and at the same time, maybe, I'll get a good shot, for the video. I'll start recording, maybe I'll show going into the garage, or maybe I'll start at the garage and just be like, here we are again making the outro. Because, it may not necessarily be like the last one, but it may be like the last one. Who knows? Who knows how it's going to go? I'm just going to get the shot, I'm just going to get the film, and then I'm going to, and then it's going to go up after that. And there's the garage, which the elevator actually got modded by Conan, which I would love to get an update of that at some point.
Do that another day. Going to hospitals is probably one of your high-risk areas, because that's where sick people are.
Yeah. maybe I could get a silent take or something. A silent take, that'd be great. You know, or maybe just a take on it. Even though in ways I am considering, you know what I'm actually considering at this point? I'm actually considering doing a silent take on some of these elevators.
Oh, well, you have to have a silent take because you want to hear the motor.
Yeah, that's
You
great.
have to be at least silent for parts of it.
So I know, you know...
And there's a restaurant that you can come up to in a boat.
And it would definitely be nice to, you know, go back to Exploration Tower. Maybe get another silent take of that. Even though I did do the solo ride where I got a silent take. But at the same time, I think...
When they're more open.
You know, I might get a silent take.
The only good thing right now about Exploration Tower is they're not charging admission. That place has an elevator in it that goes up to a museum part. There's a store on the first floor, slightly hands-on.
Oh, I'd love to get that elevator one day.
Well, we have to pay for that because you're not allowed on the second floor without thing.
Yeah.
And in the corner of
I wonder
video,
if
we should see Ron John's.
Yeah, we
The
should
yellow and
see it.
pale. You see the yellow and pale blue, which is Ron John property.
CVS Pharmacy, open 24 hours.
Yep. That's one of the few pharmacies that are open for 24 hours.
And there's Ron John's, which I think is open 24 hours, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. I don't know if it's still open for 24 hours. A lot of the 24-hour stuff closed down their hours.
Yeah, because of the virus.
Because of the virus, yeah.
Which I really hope ends.
It's getting there. I think they said a quarter of the population's already been vaccinated at least once. And one shot is not quite as good as two on the two-shot ones, but gives you, I think, 3/4 of the immunity that one would.
So far this video has gone successful, and we just need to figure out.
Well, we're almost out of 520.
So
There's this light, and there's a stop sign.
So I think this video is about to come to an end.
I don't know, you want to try and make it to the other end?
Yeah, let's try to make it to the other end.
Do we have enough music, or is it going to run out?
We got enough music. I'm sure we do. Yeah, we definitely do.
There's a Ron John sign, because there's parking.
And we definitely got enough time to record that, I think.
And this is the end
Of 520.
the other end of 520. Allen Shepherd Park. And I'll just copy you it. And here we are.
And I guess we're at the end now, so that's
We
it.
finished the end.
So,
That may be it, or not.
or maybe not.
We're not sure how much battery we have.
So maybe I'll just keep rolling. We'll just, you know what? If it dies, we'll just keep it going until it dies.
Or if it dies, we'll end. If it dies on the way to the other end, we'll end it here.
All right, so.
So that's it and goodbye. Maybe.
All right, let's try.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That definite maybe.
So maybe it ends here, or maybe
Maybe
it
it
ends.
doesn't.
So then, of
That's
course,
assuming the sun isn't too glary, because I decided to go today because it was really cloudy. So I figured we wouldn't have too much glare. But of course, right there's a thin patch. So I don't know how much glare we've got on the camera. can't clip out any of the weights because then the music sounds funny.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But then again, you know, the music probably just makes the wait seem less boring.
Yeah.
Then again, you know what? If we have the weights, the music probably makes it less boring.
Yeah. That's why people play music when they drive in the car, because it makes it less boring.
And it makes the videos less boring when you have music.
It makes the videos less boring if you have music. If you're not recording and you're just driving, people will listen to the radio or listen to CDs so they can listen to music and sing along badly. Or maybe that's just me that sings along badly.
And of course, you know, with the YouTube videos I've seen, you know, with the road trip videos and everything, you know, even if the music's copyrighted or not copyrighted, the music probably makes the video entertaining because it's not boring. You know, it kind of gets a little entertaining with the music in the background.
Yeah, but when you're playing copyrighted music in the background without paying for it,
yeah, WMG can get you.
Well, that music belongs to somebody.
Yeah, you're also stealing
and you're using it without their permission. And when you're using somebody's things without permission, that's stealing.
Yeah, and you got to be careful with doing that because
they'll shut you down for stealing.
And I believe if you get 3 copyright strikes, if I'm not mistaken, they shut down your channel.
That may be true. I've heard that rumor before as well.
But at the same time, I've also heard,
I've also heard they demonetize you. So I guess if you're monetized, they demonetize you, and if you're not monetized, they shut you down.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
And there's some people that say that even if, and there's some people that I've heard say that you can get 3 copyright strikes and still post to YouTube. So maybe that's true. Maybe you could get...
Maybe they put you in timeout.
Or maybe, it just depends.
And, yeah, it depends on a lot of things that we don't know the details of.
Because there's some things,
But when you're using copyrighted music, that's using somebody's stuff without permission. That's like if I took somebody's car, even if I put it back when I was done, if I didn't have permission to have it, I've stolen their car.
And I'm sure there's a car in that garage that we could steal and then we could return it, and that would be stealing.
That would be stealing. I don't know how to hotwire cars, so without the key I can't steal it. And if I had the key, I'd probably have permission to use it. But music is how a lot of people make their living. Some of them make a big living, some of them make a little living, some of them make side money. But it's their job. And when you use copyrighted music without permission, you're taking somebody's work without paying them for it.
But see, that's tricky. To steal a car, you need to have something. You have to have a way with starting it without your key.
There is a way to start a car without a key, but I don't know how to do it.
And I would rather not do it because you can go to jail for that.
Yeah, it's stealing, and people actually have gone to jail for stealing music. When LimeWire was...
oh, yeah, I remember the site LimeWire.
Yeah, I've talked to you about that before.
I've also heard of it on people's YouTube videos.
Yeah. People were sharing music off of CDs that they had downloaded to their computer, and they were hooking it up to other computers and sharing with other people without permission of the person who owned it. And a few people did go to jail for it. But now they have other music sharing sites like Pandora, Apple Music, Spotify. Those pay the music companies, and therefore the people who made the music, all the people involved with the music, and you either pay a fee or listen to commercials. Just like YouTube, you either pay a fee or there's commercials.
Now I know on the old YouTube you could have some copyrighted stuff on there, but now they got guidelines on there now, so you can't post that stuff anymore.
When people were initially doing it, they hadn't figured out the laws on what's fair use and what's not fair use.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that was a parody of We're Never Ever Getting Back Together by, I think, Taylor Swift. And it was a parody, so it fell under fair use. There's how much stuff is fair use and how much is not fair use when YouTube was new, hadn't been figured out. They have figured it out, and they have figured out a way to stop people from stealing the music.
And they've also done a way to where it's like you can no longer upload full movies. Because that's something we used to that I used to find on YouTube. Full movies. Those stuff have been taken down.
Yeah, because again, that's copyrighted. It costs a lot of money to make a movie.
And I know some people say that if you tried to upload that stuff to YouTube now, you're not going to have it up there. And if you tried to look for free movies, there's a good chance you might not find them.
Well, actually, YouTube has a lot of free movies.
Well, YouTube does have it officially, and there's also ones that you can pay to watch too.
Yeah.
But there's also, there's also ones that people download to where where they re-upload it to where you can watch it for free.
They call that bootleg.
And people used to put bootleg stuff, bootleg copies of movies on YouTube where you could go and watch them. But I bet if you tried to look for that stuff now, you'd find less and less of it.
Yeah, and it stays up for less and less time.
And occasionally you can still find them, but occasionally they get taken.
Mostly what you find now is bits and pieces of the movies.
Yeah, but you do find the full movie, and they always get taken down, like by the next couple of days or so.
Like some movies have what they call a director's cut. There's the part that was in the movie theaters, and then there's a special one that has extra stuff in it. And there are people who say, okay, side by side, these are the differences between the theater release and the director's cut. Or, hey, I found a blooper. Like if they were making a movie that was pretending to be, something that was 1,000 years ago, and there's an airplane in the background, or there's a car in the background, or somebody forgot in the background and they've got a wristwatch on.
Yeah, like a 2010 or a 2010 watch or something.
Yeah. Well, there's actually a couple of big movies where people watch it and they look for mistakes. It's like a hobby. And when they when they find the mistakes, they'll stop and they'll take a screenshot, or they'll take a little video of the spot where there's a mistake. And they'll put that up as fair use, showing the bloopers. And it's kind of funny. But the whole movie, no. The whole movie, you need permission. And some of the movies you can watch for free. There's a lot of movies you can watch for free where the ad revenue pays for it, just like it used to when it was on TV. And some of them you can rent. And for 24 hours you can watch that movie as many times as you want. And some of them you can buy, which means anytime you want, as long as you're connected to the internet, you can watch that movie. But you can't download it, because then it would be copyable. And that's cool.
And there are some sites that actually, steal movies that I'm obviously not going to mention, but they're, the name of. But
there's plenty of stuff that does that.
And they always get shut down.
Most of that stuff eventually gets shut down because the people that own the movie, the people that paid money for all the actors and the actresses and all the makeup and hair people and the costumes and all the time to film film it, the experts to film it, and then put the movie together, that's expensive.
And most of those sites download something on your computer.
A lot of this, yeah, well, because they know that you know what you're doing is wrong when you're going to their site, and they know it's wrong. They put it up there, and they don't feel bad at all about taking advantage of that, of you.
So then they make it to where, as soon as you click play, sometimes you may get to watch the video, but sometimes, things will download it as the video plays.
Yeah, well, they do various things. They used to do things, malware used to shut your computer down and break it, but now, instead of shutting your computer down and breaking it, they might lock it up, and then they'll send you an email saying, hey, you locked up your computer, if you want it back, if you want all your stuff back that's on your computer, you have to pay us money. They call that ransomware. Some of them, they download programs that run in the background of your computer, so you don't notice them. That might do anything from mining for Bitcoin to tracking where you're going and what you're typing. And that way they can get the information for your credit cards and your bank account so they can steal money from you. But somebody who is putting up a movie that doesn't belong to them is already a bad actor. And it's not that big of a step from a bad actor who's willing to just put up a movie that doesn't belong to them to steal the movie, to steal from the movie company, to wanting to steal from you.
Yeah, and they always put little tricks up there.
Yeah, that's the little tricks up there. Was it Noah J who downloaded a mod?
Yeah, and then he got...
And the mod installed something that when he was running his stream, it intercepted all the PayPal money that people gave him.
Yeah, and I also remember someone did the GTA 5 PC, free download before that existed too, and you notice how they disable comments and they put fake accounts to say how awesome it is.
Well, they're bad guys, and they're going to be dishonest because they want to take from you.
And it's like, don't download that. And it's like, there's always stuff that downloads stuff. You gotta be careful about going on.
Whenever you're going to download a bootleg copy of something, you're asking for trouble because you already know you're dealing with a bad guy. How bad?
And sometimes it might be bad enough to trick you into downloading stuff.
It could be bad enough to cause you a lot of problems. Of course, even downloading samples of stuff can cause you problems. Your video editing program, remember when we downloaded the free trial? We played that song?
Yeah, don't even... I guess that means it's done.
And well, you hit play again, and it'll start up again. We downloaded the free trial to see if it was something that you could deal with. Is that it?
Yeah, I think it is playing the beginning now. I guess it's muted or something.
And you liked it?
Oh, I remember we downloaded the free trial of my video editor, and then
we decided we liked it, so we bought it, and it wouldn't let us download the program that we bought.
yeah,
That was a pain.
I think I had to reinstall it just to get that thing to work.
Yeah, it left something on the computer that would not let us go past the free trial, even with the legitimate paid-for access code. Even when we got the CD in the mail.
Yeah, we had to reinstall.
Yeah, we ended up copying all the files to...
Which I'm glad we got it working, because now I have a good editor rather than a lousy one that doesn't work. or a lousy one that doesn't do good editing. Because if I was stuck, because the cool thing is, I mean, even though the other editor can, edit soundtracks and stuff, but
well, this one does so much more. You're able to do picture-in-picture. You're able to do multiple viewpoints. It actually has a way where you can switch viewpoints.
Which for a
we
while,
haven't figured out how to do that.
which for a while, all I had was Windows Movie Maker, which is not a good editing, because first off, I don't think you can edit soundtrack. I don't think you can mute things.
I'm not sure, but I think it only does 720. And you wanted something that did 1080. Yeah, but we had to copy all of your photos and files, and then reinstall Windows to get it
to work. And I got the good video editing now. It's Corel Video Studio 10, I think it is. That's the editor that I use to edit.
The 4K editing doesn't work very well, though.
No, I don't do 4K. I do 1080p because that's enough. 1080p, 30 frames. Now, I used to do 60 frames per second, but I realized that doesn't do much, so I just do 30 frames per second, and I do my videos in high definition, which is great.
There's Kay's barbecue. That's good barbecue. Special recipe for barbecue sauce. My understanding is it's Kay's grandma's recipe. So it's a secret family recipe.
And it's getting dark.
No, the sun's pretty high up, but it's behind those thick clouds.
So maybe we can get to the end before it gets dark. Be great, so
yeah,
that way we
see, you can see where the bright spot is. There's just a really thick piece of cloud there. There's the school bus barn. Well, not exactly a barn, but FedEx. That's going to be a car dealership. Two car dealerships. There's going to be one there. There's one there.
Fireworks
store. And another red light. County Agricultural Center, that way. Gonna have to go to the Ag Center again sometime.
That's where I did that vending machine video.
Yep. The Agricultural Center has plant experts. And there's a pretty weed that popped up in the garden that when I use that app thing on the phone where it takes a picture of it and helps find it, that says it's an edible plant. That's mostly good for making like tea, lemon flavor in a tea. But I'm not willing to eat it until I get somebody identifying it for me. gas is $263.9. Of course, it's $287.9. If you don't have a membership and have to go to the regular gas stations.
Sometimes it'll tell you that you got low battery, but sometimes even when it's got low battery, it may actually survive. But you
just because it says low doesn't mean it doesn't have another half hour. If the battery lasts 2.5 hours, and it's giving you a low battery life warning. Does that mean it's got 10 minutes left? 20 minutes left?
I don't know.
I don't either. Also don't know how long the low battery light's been flashing.
I just love how it says 0 bars and it's still recording. So maybe
Oh, it's red and flashing?
well, at the bottom it tells you 0 bars and it's still recording, but it's still taking video though. So maybe sometimes it'll tell you that you got no bars and it will record for a while.
Yeah.
So sometimes that lies. You never know. You can never trust that.
Well, it's a warning that it's getting low and you're almost out, and that maybe you want to think about wrapping it up if you're doing something that you need to finish. And we're leaving Brevard County. And that twisty, twiny water that you see off to the side, that's the St. John's. And it meanders all the way up to Silver Springs.
Which I do have a road trip video to Silver Springs, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be. I'm not sure if that's a good video, but it will probably get uploaded if it's a good take. You know, but at the same time, that might be a lousy video that I might
It's
erase.
just the turnpike. Actually, the way home from Silver Springs was a better video, I thought. Because we went through a national park. It was all wooded and everything.
Yeah. Then again, I'll probably erase, you know, because that might not be a very good take though, because obviously I'll get better videos in the future. So I may end up deleting that video because it might not be a very good one. Because back then I had a terrible microphone. You know, even though they would be mutes for privacy reasons, but at the same time they probably would be some audio depending on what there is. But obviously back then I had a terrible mic though.
You'll have to do more.
We gotta do more what?
More videos and more driving.
You know, and of course, you know, maybe. I mean, this GoPro is the best, you know, for the
Although
camera.
traffic has gotten worse.
You know, for the camera that I mount, the GoPro is the best because it has the best microphone. The sport camera has a bad microphone.
Yeah, the microphone's not the best on the sport camera. But then again, I can buy a couple of sport cameras for the price of the GoPro.
I mean, the sport camera's best for like doing a dash. You know, the sport camera's good for filming a road trip with no sound. That's what the sport camera's good for. GoPro's good for filming road trips with sound because that has a good mic.
Well,
Camcorder's best for like walking around and stuff. You know, on foot filming.
yeah, the camcorder has a problem with driving videos because it's not an infinite focus.
Yeah, the GoPro focuses, you know, and the GoPro actually has a pretty good microphone. I've looked back at GoPro recordings and the I mean, the camcorder has a better mic, but the GoPro doesn't have a bad mic at all. It actually has a good mic, and it can pick up, you know, there can be wind noise, and I'll be picked up great with the GoPro. So the GoPro is the best for mounting on the dash, and it focuses great.
GoPro has a better microphone. They both do equal quality 1080-30 for video. The sport camera has the view screen so you can see what it's filming, where the GoPro doesn't. The GoPro is sturdier and is waterproof, but the sport camera has a waterproof it in and you could run it till you run out of memory. And both of them say they only take a 64 gig chip, but the sport camera will take the 128 because I tested it. Now, if I was doing bouncing around video or getting wet video, I would definitely want the GoPro. If I just wanted a dash cam for safety purposes, or if I wanted a wide angle camera to take, I'm holding the camera videos, the sport camera is just fine. As a matter of fact, the sport camera is better because I can see what I'm filming if I'm using it as a walking around camera. The quality of the sound is not as good, but if you're not out in the wind, that's not really a big issue. And the GoPro does have more settings. I can have a narrower field of view, which will give me more detail. And the 4K on the GoPro is 4K. The 4K on the sport camera is not 4K. It's 720 that's been blown up. But for a typical user, the $50 sport camera is actually a better deal. It can take longer videos because you can plug it in and charge it while you're doing it easily. And if you're not knocking it around, that's fine. And you can see what you're filming. And you don't need an app to set it up. But the GoPro has more filming modes.
And the GoPro is a great camera. I mean, for road trip video, for road trip videos like this, it's a great camera.
It's hanging there fine. It's going to film for approximately 2 hours.
Yeah, I believe for 90 minutes. 90 minutes.
That's 90 minutes?
I think it's 90
I thought it
minutes.
did 210.
Well, I think it might have done 210. It might
I'm
do.
not sure.
I just don't know.
I don't know either.
It
And I'm not sure it was fully charged either.
Yeah, it's a problem.
But we took side-by-side videos with the GoPro and the sport camera. Remember? And the quality was the same.
Yeah, it tells you battery's low. It just gave another warning, but it might still be on though.
Well, it's still flashing.
Yeah, so it's still recording. So therefore, the battery so far is surviving this.
Yep.
Maybe
People are passing me because
maybe we'll make it to the end successfully. As soon as we get to the end, we're ending the video because I'm sure we're gonna end it. You know, if we get to the end, we're ending that.
Yeah, we're gonna cut the video when we get to the end. Sooner if the battery dies. Here we are at the construction again, though.
And maybe the battery will actually survive getting to the end. And as soon as we get to the end, it doesn't
We're
matter.
playing, will it die?
Yeah, will the battery die here? It'll cut off soon if it dies. If it doesn't die, then maybe we'll get to the end. So maybe the battery will survive here. Because sometimes with a low battery, it can survive. And sometimes, there can be a shock, with a little surprise that sometimes we get with low battery where we can film for a while. So who knows what happens when you have a low battery.
And the nice thing about these cameras is that when the battery dies,